Hey guys, Professional Noobs here. I'm Dreamcastguy.
And I'm Houdini Blackwood.
We're going to be playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD. The original plan was, hey, let's fucking pull together our money and do a split screen episode. Well, there is no split screen, so instead we're going to be alternating single player.
Which is really disappointing, actually. We were both talking about, like, one of the most fun things about Tony Hawk. By the way, Tony Hawk Skater 2 is when I stopped, and what I believe is the best one. The best thing you could do is that you could compete against each other.
Oh, yeah.
Such as, like, graffiti. Not sure if like any of our listeners out there have played graffiti, but that was an amazing game. Basically, you try to make different things, different colors, and then if an opponent wanted to steal it back, then they had to get a higher score than you did.
They had to out-trick your ass.
I don't want to play chick, thank you. I still don't want to play chick.
Why don't you want to play chick?
I don't know, masculinity. I've been a woman since college.
I haven't been a woman since college?
Yeah, you've never heard me say that?
No, that's funny.
Okay, well now they know that I'm lying. Who is that?
I don't know, some fucking child prodigy.
Okay, well, that's awesome.
You want to be him?
No.
I usually choose people who are all around.
Nice.
Oh, weird.
Nice head there. Yeah, sorry about that. We're working with the sound. We don't mean to make too many noises. Man, some of these guys are like, just... some of these guys are just, what's we're looking for? They got so many sponsors, that's what I couldn't say that word.
Oh, yeah. I usually choose whoever says all around just because that's, like, easy mode.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so again, to explain, we are supposed to be like pro noob, which means the Dreamcast guy is the expert, I'm the guy who just came from outside. In reality, I'm actually pretty familiar with this game, but I'm pretty familiar with it on the PlayStation 2, which was about 1 million years ago in the video game industry. So this is going to be, let's say, an experience, probably an ugly one. So he's got a lot of practice, so that's part pretty normal. But this is supposed to be from the original engine. Dreamcast guy knows more about that than I do.
It's basically the original guys still owned the rights, and so decided to get back together. Oh shit!
My tibia.
And make it, and so they're using a combination of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 8 Project 8 engine and the Unreal Engine is what they're using to render the graphics. And it seems like physics too. Everything has that weird like bouncy airiness to it.
Now it's going to take me a lot of practice to remember things. I hated those tricks. And the thing that I have to admit, and you'll probably see it, is that I was a grind whore. God, I was a grind whore. Because grinds were the best way you could move around, grinds were the highest way you get a score. Oh. The other thing I liked about Tony Hawk's Skater 2, which they may have changed, was that you could play around in 2 minutes, much like you're seeing right now. Like right now we're at a minute 5, minute 4. If you were playing with your friends, you and your friends could get on there, you could just goof off. Like, you'd be like, alright, hey, you know what? Let's play a couple rounds of Tony Hawk 2 while we're waiting for a movie, or while we're waiting for our girlfriends, or while we're waiting to play some other game, because of course we don't go to movies or have girlfriends.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
One thing I gotta say is kind of weird is all the subtle changes. Like, they kind of just spruced everything up to change things around a little bit. The box and the bar used to be switched, and you see that now instead of being the secret tape, which was that big ridiculous VHS.
Oh!
Holy shit!
What, you hit like some sort of like moon jump?
Moon jump, yes. Yeah, but instead now it's the secret DVD. It's pretty awesome. I always just wanted to point that out. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. We were actually watching something earlier before that. There's actually going to be a Let's Play for the game...
Deadlight. Yeah, Deadlight. Starting tomorrow.
And I was watching it, and he's like... It was explained to me by Dreamcast Guy. Oh, asshole. I was going to beat that. Dreamcast Guy was explaining to me that, like, the intro has nothing to do with the company. In fact, they're intro... companies who make just trailers for games. Like, once they made trailers for movies.
Yeah, like the most famous one, of course, is Dead Island, which was amazing. The trailer was so good, they wrote a movie contract for them, and the actual game came out and had nothing to do with the trailer at all.
That makes a lot more sense now, yeah, because that's the main thing that was... Okay, now, everyone, this is Houdini Blackwood, about to really suck. So, be kind. Be kind. I don't know what I'm doing. God, it's been so long.
A is jump, X is flip trick, B is grab trick, and Y is grind.
Oh, in my face. Alright. Curse you, Xbox.
You can still play with the D-pad, and that makes it easier for me.
I probably should do that. Okay. And, yeah, that was a bunch of nothing. I'm a grind whore. Did I mention I'm a grind whore, by the way? No, seriously. That's all we used to do. It was just grind back and forth, because we could just... we had it set up to where we could just grind for hours, and we changed directions like that. Oh, and that was the thing we would level up the most, would be like how to grind, how to. I can't figure out how he's doing this. Oh, never mind. Oh, hey, I'm not sure what that was. That's just embarrassing.
I say after this we move on to the next level. Let's just keep, every time we unlock a new level, we'll move on to it.
That sounds good. So, the general idea I'm going to be trying to do is trying to get a higher score than he is. Do I think that's going to happen? No. By the way, another thing you may have noticed before, I suddenly blew out there, was that every time you do a trick, it increases your multiplier. Every time it increases your multiplier, obviously increases your score. But if you don't land it at the end, well, then you got nothing. This was actually a pretty cheesy trick we used to do, which was simply just go up and down and try to hit tricks. So you would go nowhere. Why am I not going forward?
You get that initial kick or you have no push.
Okay. You're going nowhere, essentially, but you have a score of like 10,000. When I was talking about the graffiti earlier, we used to get up into scores in the millions. I mean, that's how good we were. Lo, how the mediocre have shaken somewhat and then gone back down. Oh, God, this is just embarrassing. Yeah, this is going to be all Dreamcast guys. So getting back to what I was saying about game trailers. The game trailers for that game, what was it called again?
Deadlight.
Deadlight was really exciting. The game itself is actually a side-scroller that has nothing to do with that. It's not nearly as cool. Exactly like Dead
see, what's really crazy is that it's actually, everybody's talking about it right now because it is so amazing, but it's one of those things where the trailers make it look like this crazy run-and-gun and all this crazy, like, epic, you have to survive by killing them all, when really I hear the main game is pretty much just like, hey, where can I find a board so I can cross this gap, so I can find a hose and swing over this hole and give a bagel to this person.
So basically you're playing Zombie Pitfall.
Yeah, it's Zombie Limbo. It has some killing, but it's mostly puzzle-based killing.
Pitfall, by the way, is the Atari game from, like, the 1980s. Again, back in another epoch, if we want to talk about gaming time. And ooh, this is a pretty cool background. Yeah, so we're apparently playing at the school here, which looks pretty awesome.
School, too. I love this one.
You got no hall pass, unfortunately. And this money in the corner you're supposed to be looking for, is that what's going on?
I'm trying to... that's the best way to get fucking points. Is chain together. Oh,
see, that's right. Best way to get in play. It's
talking, man. Just chain together a huge thing and do a really long grab at the end.
Just have to see if we do that. So that occurred to me, because I didn't know about these things. I didn't know about that. Nice. I didn't know about the fact that there was now game company trailers. Like, here's a game we have. Can you please make a trailer for it? Make it awesome. Make people buy it. It goes back to the box art you used to see on the old Ataris, to go back to, say, what I was talking about earlier. I don't know if anyone remembers, like, the internet, again, is quite young, and so it doesn't remember anything that's quite old. And Atari is quite old. But that box art used to be amazing. You used to look at that and be like, wow, it's Batman. Wow, it's like some alien being shot at by some lasers. This is
I don't know who Klaxon is, but that shit got to fucking get shot.
So, what do you get? You get pixels. You don't even get 8-bit pixels in some cases. You just get dots. And these dots do things. And here's the other thing. Atari games had no end. The whole purpose of an Atari game was to get a higher score than your friends. It had no end scenes, it had no cut scenes, it had no story, it had nothing. You were there to see how long you could last until you die. Which probably in some ways someone could write a sociology book about how that changes the basic perspectives of the different cultures.
Just a side note, do you know that people back in the day, back until pretty much Super Nintendo, late Super Nintendo era, almost all game programmers were called pixel pushers. Because that's all you really did, is you were just pushing together a series of your 16 by 16 palette to try and create the sprites and images you were trying to achieve.
No, that's pretty interesting. Actually, I like that. I can tell you that this is a true story from like my past, which means we're going back again to another epoch. The original Pong, which everyone knows was the original game. The original Pong out there. Do I say retry?
Yeah.
Okay. So the original Pong, my dad came into a gas station down near my dad's house, and of course he was like father, like son. He was super excited. Went down there to get as much as he could with his friends, and they spent their time playing the game as much as possible. Well, they played it for about a month until something went wrong. Like, Pong wouldn't accept any more quarters. And they were, of course, in a panic because this is not cool. They can't have more Pong. After about a few days, somebody who could come and check the machine looked over. The reason why it wasn't working is because they had fed it too many... Oh, I just busted on stairs. The reason why it wouldn't work is because they had fed it too many quarters. Pong was stuffed with quarters. Pong, a game where you're essentially playing pixelated ping pong, had too many quarters and had to be emptied.
That's actually a really, really common story. In fact, the Pong originally, because I'm reading that stupid book, the Game Over, the history of Mario. It's the entire history of Nintendo right now. It's a very thick, very concentrated storyline. And they talk about Pong originally being brought to 16 gas stations and bars in America. It was originally just 16. These guys who lived over in Japan, they were those little like American entrepreneurs, loaded them in the back of taxi cabs, drove them to the airport, talked them into, bribed some hands so they could throw them in the back of a plane, flew to America, and then
Awesome.
bribed guys. They're like, we'll give you 90% of the profit this machine makes and pay whatever the power cost.
Wow.
Like,
They were just like throwing themselves at them.
but literally, they sold so many, like the machines got so much money, that's why it took them so long. Like the legend goes that they had to go there and replace the change themselves, and they were just so fucking full. They would just go in there with like trash bags and pull the change out. And they were like, there was a slot for us to drop the change into, and it would fall a short way and land on this other thing, and it would fall until eventually it was overflowing. The slot that would hold the money had overflown so much that it broke the sensor, and we would have to go to all these pretty much just doing that. And so those guys ended up talking to Nintendo America during the early Nintendo ages and be like, hey, we'll be your head of distributions in America. And they were. I think they still work for Nintendo America. Those two little guys cramming them in the back of taxi cabs in the early 80s are now like millionaires.
Well, yeah, it shows that like if you're willing to take a chance. I mean, they obviously put a lot of their own money on the line, and they tried.
Yeah, they did say they paid $2,000 per machine, and they bought 16 machines.
This is back in the that's basically the 1970s.
Yeah.
Their internet. So in modern money, that's $1 billion.
Roughly, look it up in a translator.
Yeah, exactly. Look it up.
Ball sack.
Yes, we're not doing so well. We actually didn't win an extra level. So as per our own personal rules, we're just going to keep playing. Oh, that looks dangerous. We're just going to keep going. Now, what I also did not do to explain is we have to do certain things on the keyboard in order to do certain tricks, and I don't know what those are. So that's why I look spastic and he looks amazing. You were robbed. That was not sloppy. Well, I mean, it wasn't like maybe not straight down, but.
Ah, fuck. Gotta get my momentum. Fuck it.
So
yeah. I'd rather to not talk. Yeah, I like this. We gotta buy more points after this, though. That's what the money is for, is you can buy stat points and buy boards, but the boards don't do shit. Watch this. Boosh! Oh, you can't do that anymore. In the original one, popping off the top gave you 1,000 points.
Oh, wait, hey, there's one of those dollar books.
Alright, I'm gonna grab that in a second. Let's see if I can't get the secret tape.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you can, that was, oh.
Doesn't even worry about physics. It's just like, oh, I have fallen, so I will immediately stop moving.
That was the thing that was, like, a huge part of this game, is that it's a somewhat RPG element. Like, you can get the different boards, which is mainly, like it was described, a vanity. Like, I just want to look cool. But you can get better things. Like, you can eventually grind, where your balance is fine. So you can grind for hours. Did I mention I'm a grinding whore? But you can grind for hours, you can do higher scores, you can just get better. And so that was the other. You could also eventually, in Tony Hawk 2, unlock different skaters. In fact, the bum was my favorite. The bum who was driving.
Ollie the Magic Bum.
Yes. Who would ride on a.
Officer Dick and Spider-Man are my favorite. Especially, you know, in the original ending, how you could beat the game as Spider-Man, and then you'll get the weird Spider-Man ending where he goes around and he's like, I have a spider sense, and does those flips and shit. That was actually Tony Hawk. They had Tony Hawk come in and put on the Spider-Man costume and do that part for them.
No, I didn't know that, actually. I actually never got that ending either.
No, well, it's pretty good. He just goes around in this little like private skate park, and he's really good. But in Tony Hawk's autobiography, Hawk, he actually talks about when they were doing the body scan, like all the skaters in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 were his body mods. So they put on like those hundreds of sensors, and he'd go out and he would skate on the track, and that was the only way they could like get those body motions to look realistic.
Oh.
And he talks about that he would slip and fall all the time because I mean, half of skating is busting your ass.
Right. We make this look easy, or at least he does.
Well, he said that every time he'd slip and fall, he'd crush like 3 of the sensors and just casually pick it up and hand it over to the programmers, and they would just be grimacing. And he's like, they wouldn't tell me how much they were, but I assumed they were hundreds of dollars every time I'd slip.
It's probably more correctly that it was like some of them were in a range of 1,000. But yeah, he's also like, hey, I'm Tony Hawk and this is my game, so fix it. It kind of reminds me of the same scene of like when the Buffalo got free for Dances with Wolves with Kevin Costner, because he was talking about it on an afterward interview. And the buffalo were moving, they weren't supposed to, and they ruined the scene. And he said he just looked at somebody and said, like, well, go get them. and they had to because he was the director. Yeah, that's just what I was talking about over here. I just don't know what it does.
By the way, if you hold A, you know you'll go faster, right?
No.
When you see me all crunched up, hold A while you're cruising.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Yes. Oh, yes, wall.
And it also makes you ollie higher.
If my middle brother was seeing me, boys and girls, man, he would just be having a field day. And then he would come up in here and he would suck on his own. So he could just suck it. Oh, I can't get this to work. Alright, I swear. Like, let's just do another level afterwards.
Doesn't the gravities feel weird?
It like, feels a little bit different, but it's also, it's a time, like, it's, it all looks, okay, yeah, sorry. It all looks familiar. Like, it's like you're going, oh, God. It's like you're going back to your old high school, essentially. Like, let's use the metaphor of the area where, why did that happen? We go back to the metaphor of where we are. It's like when you go back to some place and you remember something being huge or the area being scary, but then you see it again. You're like, oh wait, this is like I see it as a man now, and it doesn't look the same.
I see it as a man. All right, so, we still can't move on to the next level because you have to beat 5 tapes or 4 tapes in order to, or for the goals to move on.
All right, so we'll do this one more time. I know you've got other levels in this one now.
Fuck it, I'm just gonna do wall ride 5 bells. That one's easy.
We'll do what things are easy, internet. We'll do what things are easy for you. That's how hard we're working.
Booyah! Up.
So any other gaming news? Any other gaming news this week?
Oh, just the stuff on Grand Theft Auto 5 has been confirmed that will be 2013.
Okay.
Star Wars The Old Republic has unfortunately confirmed that they are now officially under 1,000 subscribers, and so it's going to free-to-play, but it's a special weird kind of free-to-play where there's going to still be a subscription base where you can pay to play and you have access to everything, or you can choose to be free-to-play. And in free-to-play, you're only allowed to do the equivalent of Battlegrounds in that. You can do a certain amount of Battlegrounds each day. Whoa, that shit's up my ass. You can do a certain amount of them. You can only get to level 50, and you can't do any of the dungeons. But it's still free.
Well, that's actually pretty similar to like what they did with Dungeons & Dragons. And that's, again, like, I don't know what happened in that case. If you've been watching us, and if you haven't, guess what? We're on the internet. Oh!
Shit.
We're on the internet, so you can watch us as much as you want. We talked about that, about how World of Warcraft / Blizzard Entertainment has dominated the entertainment market, the online market, and they've mainly done it because it's easy. I have never played Star Wars Online, so I'm not sure how easy or hard it is.
Trevor likes it. My roommate plays the fuck out of it.
Which one? The Star Wars one?
Yeah, he plays a lot of it, and he keeps trying to get me into it. He says it's great, but I kind of get the feeling from everybody I've talked to, I think the servers are empty compared to WoW. Like, I'm sure there's people to find for groups and stuff, and that's great, but compared to WoW, where you can queue pretty much at any time of day and find hundreds of Battlegrounds and never see the same person twice, which is kind of a nice feeling.
But you just said that there's like less than 1,000 people, though. So that's
sorry, did I say less than 1,000? I was trying to do tricks, and I was just kind of less than 1 million.
Okay, that's still pretty low, though, for an online game.
Yeah.
And that's, let's count off the number of people that we have fucked this up, and please God, let us do a different thing. That wasn't what I meant to say. What I meant to say was that, come on!
Booyah!
Yes!
Boom!
Alright, let it be said that I give up too easily. Alright, the hangar. Oh, sweet, we got a board. That's awesome. Okay, so there was Warhammer Online. That's gone free to play. Dungeons & Dragons. That's gone free to play.
Lord of the Rings Online.
Lord of the Rings Online. Hangars, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's gone free to play. There was a few that came out that died. There was the one who came out with the guy who developed Ultima, the game. Sorry, I don't know his name.
Warhammer 20K, also free. I think that one may have launched free.
Warhammer 40K, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
20K, it's just a bunch of guys sitting around eating nachos.
Yeah, exactly.
This is it.
I hope you like it.
We made it.
Yeah, but like Warhammer 40K, which I think that one did launch, but there was a Warhammer like Fantasy. Oh, okay, I gave it to me.
Yeah, the Warhammer. Man, everybody was calling that thing the WoW killer. We were all so happy about that. I was so sad it died.
It's just like there was a couple other things. And actually, there's been a few that I can't recall that simply came out and were too difficult and ultimately died. Rifts. What about Rifts?
Tabula Rasa.
That's the one I was thinking of. Yes.
Aeon. You know, Tabula Rasa has a super amazing story behind it.
Do people care about story, internet? No, they care about graphics.
No, not even the game itself. behind the development of the game.
Oh, okay. I'm listening.
So the guys were trying to develop it, and they wanted a big hype campaign, and so they had a mostly open beta. Almost anybody could get into it. I don't remember what the credential was, but it was pretty easy to get. And whoever had the highest score, whatever the score system was, or got to the highest level the fastest, was having their DNA preserved and put onto a space, into a capsule that was being sent into space. So the top players of that game are forever having their DNA in space.
I thought that was a myth.
No, it's real. And so that's I was reading an article of 5 things that were 5 insignificant things that created permanent after effects, and that was one of them. Where they were like, "Congratulations, your DNA is forever in space because you know how to rig macros."
Hey, at least rigging macros means something now.
Yeah. Well, in that one game. In real life, most of the time, it just basically stacks trinkets and other useless shit.
So, that's the question that I can compose. What's going to be with Blizzard? I mean, like, Blizzard, everyone's talking about how WoW looks dated. And it does. The graphics look dated. They haven't really done much updates.
Fucking pandas, dude. They're fucked.
Pandora, okay, I'm going to argue that Pandora's been around for a very long time. And you can see the success of both, unfortunately, crappy Panda movies.
But those were all standalone. This is built to. I've read for the record, people. I've read all of the Warcraft books. They are fucking intense. I've read the.
He's not lying by the all part, by the way.
The Well of Eternity trilogy is probably one of my favorite ones ever. Richard A. Knack. It's this great story. They go back in time and find out the history of the Demon Soul and stuff, which basically turned out to be basically the entire history of Cataclysm. Deathwing comes back, and we get to finally rid the world of him and the Demon Souls, and they create this huge, epic final Cataclysm and rip the world asunder. And then what do they follow with? Oh yeah, it turns out there's this panda continent, but you couldn't see it because of panda magic. But the pandas can be good guys or bad guys, but only when they're not being like monks and doing action rolls. It's like, what the fuck is this? I just raped a dragon to death, and now I gotta fucking play Kung Fu Panda, the MMO? Fuck that. They're fucked, man. Almost everybody. I've heard the servers are pretty empty now. I was playing late Cataclysm, and the BGs had people, and that was it. There weren't really any dungeons or anything. It was like, fuck it.
A lot of people have said that they defend this decision. A lot of people in the company, and I've only seen a few interviews, but generally they defend the decision because they've said, we kept doing one thing after another where it kept being conquer this boss, now conquer this boss, now conquer this boss. And again, I am bad with names. I'm probably one of the worst people you'll meet with names. But they had the blind guy who was the former elf. You had to go beat him.
Illidan. Yeah.
Thank you. And before that, it was Nixia. I actually can't remember Nixia.
Oh, Nixia was badass.
And then after that, it was...
Neltharion.
Oh, yeah, Neltharion, thank you. And then after that, it was defeat the Lich King. And then we defeat the Lich King. Okay, now, go defeat...
Ragnaros again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sorry. It's like...
Sithun, who was totally a badass Cthulhu reference, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, that actually was really good. Props to them for that. They've mentioned this right into the propeller.
Let's see if I can.
Your blood is forever on the propeller.
Shit.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to finish off 6 score in the last 0 seconds.
You need 40,000 and nothing that's going to happen.
My genitals.
So, he did a pretty good job. He really helped me out. Let's see, let me limit him down. They said it was becoming very difficult. And I can respect that, how it was becoming difficult to try to make a boss every single time. Always make something that people could fight or enjoy or, struggle against. So they wanted to go back to what they called the basics, where, okay, you're just a group of players and you're just a group of adventurers and you're going out there into the world to adventure and see the world. By the way, it's not a secret panda continent, it's a giant turtle.
What?
They live on a giant turtle.
Pandaria
is a giant turtle.
Oh, God.
Yeah, just saying. It's a magic panda turtle.
God damn it. Fuck all that game.
So that becomes the question, Internet. What's going to kill him? Blizzard has defeated all comers. Repeatedly. Every time. They have not lost. I mean, what will beat them? Will they do StarCraft Online down the road? Will that win?
Ironically, I think what's going to kill him, and I can already kind of feel it, I can feel the change in the wind, the big shooter MMOs are about to start coming out.
So does Halo?
Borderlands 2 is coming out, and Borderlands 2 is still just one of those, 5 people in one room type of thing, but that's still going to draw a lot of traffic. But then Planet Side 2 open beta starts pretty soon, and everybody, you can just feel everyone kind of glancing at that. Because it's an MMO with a gigantic continent, 3 huge factions, I believe, and they're all at a constant war. 24 hours a day, you can go there and see ships getting shot down and shoot and try and take control points and gain ranks and start, like, fucking moving troops and shit. And after a while, people go, hey, you know what's better than pandas? Shooting a guy in the dick.
Yeah, I do love that. You know, will this happen? I don't know. It remains to be seen. I mean, like, it's going to be, whoa, it'll be exciting. Again, I have heard from a couple people, they are also not impressed with the whole panda thing.
Yeah, almost everyone I know, like, that's what, me and Trevor both played that game for years. Every time I kept quitting, he would bring me back, and every time he'd quit, I'd bring him back, and we kept bringing him back until the day we saw that trailer. I sold my account for $300. Probably should edit that out. I think that's illegal. Oh well, they don't know my screen name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and trust me, lots of WoW accounts have been sold. That's something that became almost a sub business, which then was put in with Diablo. And Diablo, like, they're like, hey, listen, if you can't beat them, join them. And so Blizzard generally has, like, they're letting people sell accounts. They're letting people buy equipment.
Wait, what goals do we have left?
We got 6 score.
Okay, I'm just gonna go for 6 score. That's easy.
I didn't know you could do a whole map thing. There's so much I don't know about this game. We could also knock down 5 barrels. I was trying to go for that, but I just couldn't find that 5th set of barrels. I don't know where they are. Probably up on the moon or something.
There. I think this might be some of them.
So you're also getting some monies. Yeah, pretty disappointing. Again, like, when I first played this, I played this with my youngest brother, Michael. Yes, I have 2 brothers named Michael. And he was a lot better than I was.
Not very creative parents.
Hey! One's adopted. And so,
imagine if you adopted a kid and you're like, yeah, we already have a Michael, so you're Chuck now.
Yeah, but
I'm 12. Look, Chuck.
Yeah, we're not going to argue with this.
How much do you like food, Chuck?
Yeah, exactly. Can you cook yourself? No? You got a job? No? Alright, well, how about the name then? Sounds good. Yeah, no, we practiced. I mean, that was kind of the time when I learned how to eat with chopsticks. It was because my brother Michael did.
Yeah, fuck physics. I'm glad that glitch is still in here.
Yeah, I didn't know how to eat with chopsticks, and he did, and that pissed me off. So, real mature, that's what I am. And not petty at all.
Booyakasha!
Where is that? Seriously? Big drop. Oh! I guess big drop means you're gonna die, fool. Where is it? Oh, there you go. Okay, so 5 barrels, but you can still get 6 score. I'm pretty sure you can make it in 35 seconds. So what's your favorite Tony Hawk experience? Let's bring it to the internet. Mine still remains. That was a rhetorical question.
Fine. Okay.
Mine is still Tony Hawk 2, hands down. End of statement. I've played a lot of the Tony Hawk. I played Tony Hawk Underground. It didn't have the same flavor, mainly because it didn't have the 2 minutes game time, and it seemed like there was some pointless story that they had tried to attach to it.
Yeah, the ones with the story were pretty lame. I think mine is, and it could just be because of the nostalgia, is my best friend in middle school was my little friend. He came over from Afghanistan, so he had this real thick accent, and he had a PS2, and he'd be like, hey, come over, Max. And so he'd come over, and we had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, and we had played a lot, and then one day I came over, and he had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, and it was still wrapped. And he was like, are you ready? And I was like, yeah. And so we put it in and we played like the first 5 levels. And for some reason it was stuck on that song, The Ace of Spades! The Ace of Spades! And then we went out the next morning. We're like walking to school and we're super tired because I spent the night there even though it was a school night because we wanted to just keep playing it. We woke up and there was a deck of cards someone had thrown out on the ground for some reason. And I remember we went to it and we picked up an ace with The Ace of Spades! Just because we were so fucking blown away by that game.
And don't forget the Joker!
Yeah, I still think 2 is probably the one I liked the most, but I think I had the most fun social experiences with 3. Oh, boosh!
Hey, wait, I recognize this map.
Yeah,
well, okay, I recognize this part. This used to be in the airport of number 2.
No, this is from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1.
Okay, well, I remember that little...
There's a similar... But totally not.
Yeah, you know what? We actually need to spend some points and get our skill down. So
yeah. Fuck, I keep forgetting.
No problem. No! Okay, so I'm actually going to get an achievement. It's going to make me feel good about myself. Yeah, there was, like, generally, like, if again, like, we're not going to be able to play this enough, but you would get to the point where you could just, like, break every bone in your body. That's something I miss. I think that was in one of the games where it would tell you what you broke and what injuries you had. That's actually what I missed from the first Grand Theft Auto, to be honest.
Skate had that.
The first Grand Theft Auto, the very first, by the way, Grand Theft Auto 1, the bird's eye, like, ancient...
Yeah, we were head and shoulders.
Exactly, like pulling people, other heads and shoulders out of moving vehicles. Every time you would get arrested, it would tell you what was wrong. Every time you got into a hospital, it would tell you what you got cured for.
Did it really? I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. It was like, I remember I would try to get the highest score before I got arrested. Like, X number of times, like, assault and battery, X number of times Grand Theft Auto. I'm in a mall, parking lot, I'm dead. Oh, double dead. Wow, I wouldn't have died so much they put me back in the beginning.
Well, it happens there. Because remember that used to be the end, and it would just end your run automatically. Now instead it just teleports you, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that from Tony Hawk 2. Did you ever, like, try to sneak into the house? Oh, right in front of the S.
What?
Okay, Tony Hawk 2, the Halloween area, there's a house that the door occasionally opens, and there's a person, like, spooky eyes that look out from it. You know what I'm talking about?
That's Turn Supposed to go 3, isn't it? Suburbia?
That's 2. Yeah, that's Suburbia, and oops, it's 2.
I'm 100% positive. 100%.
Okay, internet, back me up. Tony Hawk Skinner 2, Suburbia, because it may be in 3 as well, but there was like this door that would open, and then you could jump in, like right in, just be real careful. You had to time it just right, it had to open just right, you had to jump in there. You jump in and you die, by the way. It kills you. There's nothing cool, you don't get anything. By the way, we're still thinking of the house that you have to go behind it and go in its like backyard garage area and like drive around, right?
What?
Okay.
I'm thinking of Suburbia, the one that had it's like there's a spooky, creepy house when you start with a big creepy tree, and there's an achievement for grinding in that tree, but then there's all the other like housing complexes you can skate in the pools. Yeah, that's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
That's also Tony Hawk's Skater 2.
There isn't that in 2. I beat 2 every once in a while.
I bet you money that's in 2.
We're gonna look this up.
We are gonna look this up. That'll be in a separate video where we'll have me being really upset and him being really happy. But hopefully another way around.
Can you not buy points anymore? Let's see where the fuck do I...
I don't know.
Fuck you.
We'll find out about you. It's good to know.
Skate shop, grab tricks, flip tricks, lip tricks, special tricks, board shop. Fuck all that.
Grab tricks.
There we go. Buy stats, right bumper. What? How weird is that? Come on, game. Okay.
So that's the thing. Eventually, you will max these out, and that's what it's all about. Like, it doesn't matter about anything else. You just want to be the best you can ever be. Yes, yes, rail balance. Yes. We'll be agonizing.
Spin a little bit, ollie a little bit, and then hang time through the roof. Okay.
This is what I like. That's the other thing we used to do in number 2, which I'm going to argue.
Cheat unlocked perfect rail balance.
Which was in number 2, is that you could try to hit everything in one go. That's actually when you consider yourself really skilled. If you could hit every single one of those tricks in the 2 minutes.
I can do that for almost all of them. Like in 2, I can do that with pretty much every one of the maps that doesn't require 2 plays. Because some of them are like, don't unlock something until you get a certain thing.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely talking about the stuff that you can do it all in one go. And that's the thing, it's all in 2 minutes. So like, again, we're waiting for something, we're bored. You know, in 2 minutes this can be really addictive. Same thing about being exhausted. I would be there, and there'd be plenty of times that we would be tired. We'd be like, all right, man, this is the last one, this is the last game. We're not going to play anymore. By the way, we were playing on a split screen so we could both watch each other play. But so we tell ourselves, all right, this is the last one, I'm not going to play anymore. And then we get done with that match. Be like, one more. It's like 2 minutes. Yeah, I know, man. Come on, let's just play one more.
It's been 6.5 hours.
6.5 hours or 2 minutes later, we would be exhausted. But we would be happy because there'd be like so many games of graffiti. There would be so many games of like King of the Hill or you're gonna die. Oh, okay. We'd find different ways. We'd have our favorite designs. We'd have our favorite everything. It's just like we just knew that map better than we knew our own backyards. And it was fun.
Houses had backyards when we were kids? Holy shit.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
I thought grass was only in Hyrule.
Well, it is. And it doesn't have rupees. It's actually kind of...
That and Shireweed. Booyakasha!
And boom. Oh, weird. I wonder why I got to go so far in there.
Oh, because you were doing tricks. It'll never respawn you while you're doing a trick.
Okay, that makes some sense. Alright, so I'm sort of mesmerized now, mainly about how bad I was at this game. Okay, so let's see what they're doing.
I'm not a pro skater at all.
There's still a chance. You can still get the... That 6 score is pretty far off.
Well, I can't get 6 score of it. I might be able to get the secret tape right here.
You mean the secret DVD.
Oh, DVD.
Or not. Oh,
I
damn,
did
you
it? Yeah, I did, yeah.
Alright, well, so, anyway, let us know if you like this one. Let us know if you want to see more Bowling Hawk Spreader 2. Remember to check our next immediate video, which is going to be me gloriously happy that, of course, we are in Tony Hawk's Spreader 2, and it was Suburbia, and Dreamcast Guy crying sweet, bitter tears in a cold black shower.
As I put a gun in my mouth.
And wait until WoW
I was
updates.
oh, what the fuck, ass.
So close. Alright, no, I'm cashed out.
Well, thanks, guys, for watching. This has been another great episode.
What are we going to play next week?
I don't know. Tell us in the comments what y'all want to see next week, and if no one suggests anything good, then we'll fucking find something else awesome.
No, let's not say that. If you suggest something, we will try to find it. If we can't find it, then we will disappoint you.
Exactly.
But we will tell you by name who we disappointed and that we're very sorry. Mm-hmm. In the most sincere lady voice we can.
It's true.
Yes!
This has been Dreamcast Guy
and Houdini Blackwood.